Proverbs. Greatness. Greatness. Live in Proverbs. Life is getting blurred. We need the clarity of the word. Greatness. Greatness. Live in Proverbs. Live in Proverbs. Live in Proverbs. Greatness. Greatness. Live in Proverbs. Live in Proverbs. Live in Proverbs. The world is absurd. The kingdom is superb. Greatness. Greatness. Live in Proverbs. Live in Proverbs. Live in Proverbs. Live in Proverbs.
I remember being around some elders, and they just at the rec center, and some of the and one of the things it blew me away. This is to blow me, because I grew up under my grandmother, granddad. I was just always under them, listening, and always get and the kids are coming to the rec center, the young people, and they'll be in their area, like 5 feet away, and then the seniors will be in that area. And they would never interact. It wouldn't be any interaction at all. No, zero. I mean, like, not how you doing, little man. It was just literally, and I was blown away by it. Like, I was just watching this every day. Like, they never, like, it's never a crossing by. Do you know how much wisdom you guys have? I'm right over here because I'm trying to hear what you got to say. Right. You know what I mean? But they're too young to even know, like, where the wisdom at and all that kind of stuff. Right. But why aren't you crossing it? And it blew me away. And what their answers was, well, these young people this day, they do this, and they act like this, and they walk, and they don't, I'm like, oh my God. So what's the solution? How did it? You're blaming the next generation when how did they get that way? Yeah. Yeah. It had to be a generation before them. Yes. And if you raise that generation, then you're responsible for trying to correct the problem that was created. You know what I mean? And I think we run away from problems. We run away from problems. We see things, and instead of trying to, find a solution for it, we just run from it. You know what I mean? And that's not something that, as believers, you know what I mean? We should be out trying to help. You know what I mean? Help those kind of, especially when we have if you got the remedy, and you got the solution. You know what I mean?
I agree, 100%. I don't know when the shift will happen when, because when I grew up, the neighbor could whoop you. The teacher could put hands on. You know what I mean? It was really a village back then.
And they will also defend you too.
Yes.
You can come around the block and be that's
my neighbor's son.
The whole neighborhood would be.
See what I'm saying? When I was young, we had a block club. Yeah. Where everybody's report card was on a sheet of paper, and based on what's on the report card, you get money, take us to Cedar Point. It was like a family.
Community.
It's a community. Yeah. And you can't have a strong community without strong families.
Absolutely.
If you got just a person here, a person there's not a community.
And you can't have a strong family without strong individuals.
Yes. That make up.
That's the self-control.
That's the self-control and the model.
The model.
Like you said, Jesus gave us the model, and we follow the model as best to our ability, and then everything else works out better because we have the proper model. Yeah. And
we're striving to be like the model.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To be like the model.
We just, because we'll be talking for a whole nother 2 hours if I've opened that Pandora's box. Yeah, of course. You know what I mean? Because we got, you got people who try to change the model, not understand the model.
Yeah.
You making adjustments to it to fit you, and not just looking at what it is and saying, let me just try to measure it.
Yeah. Short time. We short-sighted.
Hold on. Man. Yeah, we just make up stuff about this. Nah, man, that's not. You gotta find out, learn the model.
Yeah, we are extremely short-sighted, and we don't think that far ahead. I changed my lights from my house, the porch lights, and then the lights on my garage. They died. They went out. So I changed them, and I changed it from automatic light to just a bulb light you screw in. And I was like, why did they put them lights on? I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna put my what I want on there. Yeah. And I realized that they had it that way because it came on automatically.
Right.
When it got dark enough, it stored up the solar rays, and then it came on when it got dark.
Wow.
Now I got to go every day. I got to go flick it.
You gotta hit the switch.
Turn it on or to turn it off. But because I was short-sighted and not realizing, oh, that's why they did it. But I realized it after the fact, after it was already. And that's how most of us do. Why are men in charge? Why do women have to do this? Because you don't like the concept, and then when you get outside of it, you see, oh, okay, that's why we like that. Mm-hmm. Because men are equipped to do this, women are equipped to do it. And we're running from that as a society, and we know the reason. But yeah, like you said, one question. The young men that are out there that don't have role models, like readily around them, where they can get wisdom from, or what would you say the best course of action is for them to try to go somewhere and find some proverbs?
I mean, if they're just looking for proverbs, man, just open up, the book right after Psalms, and just go at it. We're in a bad, I don't say we're in a bad situation, but I talk to young men that don't have necessarily I'm not saying they can't comprehend. They can. They just need a certain type of comprehend. It's like most kids learn visually better than audibly. You could say something to a kid all day. Just do this. Mm-hmm. They need visuals.
Right. Or they got to put their hands on.
They got to put their hand. Or they got to touch. Yeah. And we're not creating that, for the next generation, where they don't, it's in the books. They reading, but they don't see it. That's why it's important to live the Proverbs for this generation, because it's going to affect the next generation, because they're going to have something they can look to and say, this how they did it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I never forget this. My mom was like, we was driving in the car. This is a long time ago. She had a flat tire, and I was a kid. And she went crazy. Oh my God, I got a flat tire. Like it was like the end of the world. Right. It's like a flat tire. It's just I thought a flat tire was like, oh, it's just dramatic. Right. But that's what I saw. But then I was in the car with my uncle, and he got a flat tire. He pulled over. He got out. It was no panic. He was just like, hey man, just do baby, and we were back driving, and the dynamics between the two, it opened my mind to something.
Wow.
I don't have to panic.
Right.
in this situation, if I'm just calm.
Right. And you know what to do.
I know what to do. It's not something that complex, because I seen something. Wow. Yeah. Not because I read how to change the tire or was it, it was because I saw it. And that's, young people need that.
They need to see it.
And that'll draw them to want to read it more, to understand it more, because they see, oh, my uncle used to say that, I saw my dad, I saw the man out of block. Do you know the statistics say this, man? This is statistics in America right now, particularly in the black community, black young men. It is, I don't want to quote the wrong percentage, but it is highly unlikely if a young black man is raised in a house with a his father, for him to wind up in prison. Like
if the father's not
if
there,
the father is there,
then he won't end up in prison.
Yeah, it's very like the percentage is crazy.
Yeah.
Compared to
with a mother.
The opposite
I can believe that.
percentage. Not just the it ain't about the, it's just about the lack of the father.
Okay.
And then this is another one. In between there, they did research too on this. The father don't even have to be in the house. If that young man sees a father in his community that's notable, that he see on a regular basis, he is less likely to go to prison than the one without. Because he see it every single day. Yeah. He see the wisdom. Yeah. He see the guy come on. He see the structure.
Even if it ain't in the house, he can see, okay, that guy go to work, he cut the grass.
Wow, this what I need to do.
Yeah, I got a model.
I got something that I can look to.
Yeah.
So to answer the question, that's what that young person needs. It needs you. It needs our community to take on young men, young ladies, and show them, let them see, not let them hear, because there's a lot of stuff out there they hear, but they need to be able to see how, and I learned this about young people working in schools. Whatever you give them and do in front of them consistently, they'll start doing it. And when I walk in the building, greatness. Good morning, greatness.
I remember you told
greatness
that
in the building, because you hear greatness all day long. Greatness. Every time I see greatness. Every single year it starts the same way. Like the newer students, like the older students, they already know. The newer students come in, like the sixth graders, greatness, and they be looking. At first, they look at you like you're crazy. Like, what are you talking about? Greatness? That man. What's going on with him? Like that. Then day 2 or day 3, he about to say it again. He about to say it. About week 1, when I walk in, before I can say it, what they doing?
Greatness.
Great. They saying whatever, and we got to understand how powerful that we are to culture.
Yes.
By how we live.
Yes. And
if we live in Proverbs, man, we changing the world. We change.
You know what's so crazy? You saying that God just dropped something on me right now. And he said nothing is more powerful than the spoken word. Ooh. Because in the beginning was the word. And the word was with God, and the word was God. Everything we see was created with the word.
Absolutely.
This all manifests from the spoken word. And you just lived it.
Absolutely.
Where you spoke words to people and you dropped a seed on them, and eventually it sprouted. Really? And the spoken word, now they're saying greatness, and they walking around with that air of greatness instead of somebody, and then the reverse could be, you know what I mean? The negative.
And that's what we're doing. See, that's why I say we the solution and we the problem.
Yes.
To the next generation.
Yeah.
Because exactly what you saying, because you got dads who said some things to their kid, or moms who said, you just like your daddy, you ain't gonna be, like you get that, and then what happens? You know what I mean? They grow up, and all this negativity that they got, they manifest it. Yeah. Like you say, the word becomes flesh.
Yes.
That's what happens in the Saint and John. The word, because it's going to become flesh. So what are you speaking?
Yeah.
Research has been done. They do 2 plants. They give them the same food, 2 types, same from the same stock. One, they speak positive things to. One, they don't speak another. Then you get a control, the other one, they speak negative stuff. Then they do the control one where they don't speak nothing. Mm-hmm. And the one that is spoken all the positive stuff grows better, is stronger. This is scientific facts.
Proven. Wow.
This is not like just some,
Yeah.
They found out that that direct energy, that it's a powerful thing, and it's like you say, it's all word, man.
It's all word.
It's all word, but we gotta live it.
Gotta live it. It ain't just about speaking it. You gotta live it.
You gotta live the word.
And it's also funny that you say it, because like you said, most people learn from seeing. You gotta see the model. And when you see the fruits of how it impacts people, you looking at their life and comparing it to yours. But they just got to be able to see it. And that's why, podcasts like this are very important, because we have to combat the negativity.
Absolutely. There's so much negativity.
It's so much. It's about 90% of what you see.
And that's
it's the wrong. It's the people that shouldn't be talking that's talking. And we guys like us are just going about our day, going to work, going home, being husbands, being fathers, because that's our immediate responsibility. And then you just go shake your head and you go handle it. But we need to combat what people are seeing, what they're hearing, so they can at least have a chance to say, I heard a different perspective, and life ain't got to be like this.
Absolutely.
Even if I'm in a bad situation, it don't got to stay a bad situation, because I can do something different. I can make better decisions. Where I'm at now ain't where I got to stay, for where I got to, I ain't got to continue to live like this, and that's very important.
Or what the people that I did see growing up, that don't mean I have to be that way either.
Right.
Because I seen something different.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's because that's the beauty of the Proverbs. Proverbs 16:32. He who is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he who takes a city.
I like that.
He who is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he who takes a city. That's
one of God's attributes, right? When he talked to Moses, when he put Moses in the mountain, and he turned his back, and he said, "I'm gonna walk by you."
Oh yeah, I'm saying, serve my backside.
When God described himself, one of the descriptions, he says, "Slow to anger."
Slow to anger.
That's a God virtue.
Absolutely.
Being slow to anger. And
that's also a manifestation of the Spirit of God.
There you go. The Spirit
and it
of
is
God.
in us.
So there you go.
It's in us.
That's one of the.
Well, I just have anger. Kids say this. I have anger problems. You don't listen. Everybody gets angry. Mm-hmm. It's not about. That's not the issue.
Emotion.
That's a natural human emotion. It ain't about you getting angry or not getting angry. We all get angry. Mm-hmm. It's about what you do when you get angry. So you don't have an anger problem. You have a self-control problem.
There you go.
You have a problem controlling yourself when you get angry.
Yes.
But we've been in the age of diagnosis where everything has a diagnosis, you know what I mean? Like everything, you got the anger problem. Yeah. And then it's a word that's just been spoken to you.
There you go.
And somebody's confirming it, and then people go around and repeat,
proclaim.
Oh yeah, he got an anger problem. Oh, he got an anger problem. Everybody said, well, he all right. He got anger problems. And then you start believing it. It becomes a
I got this problem, but so you want to retain the problem forever? Yeah. And every time I say you doing this, you just gonna say that, and then we're not gonna discuss how we can become better?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like you said, it's the spoken word, and me and my wife, we talk about ADHD a lot. Yeah. She said I got ADD, whatever it's called. And I was like, I ain't saying that. I'm not claiming that over myself. Whether I do or don't is another thing, but I'm not going to verbally label myself that. Yeah. I'm going to figure out what's happening, and then I'm going to figure out how I can stop it from happening without putting that label on myself. So, I believe that wholeheartedly, that you eat what you speak, and that the spoken word is very powerful. So, how do you think the contrast is between being slow to anger as compared to being mighty?
Oh, that's a good question. The contrast,
because that's kind of odd, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he who is slow to anger is better than the mighty. When he said the mighty, the reference is to somebody who's, strong and just take things by force and just, You know what I mean? Like, oh, this can get, you know. And he said, he who is slow to anger is better. He said he's better than that, you know. And I think I think that the scripture reveals, it does the fraction, it does the math. You know what I mean? Less than, better than. And the big mouth is facing the person who's slow to anger. But these are things that are not. And it's another thing with kids. Whatever you promote. See, it's a way, we don't promote things. We just say things and then we threaten. We say things, then we threaten. We say, I don't want nobody talking in class. And if you, because next person talking in class, I'm kicking you out. You know, or don't run down the hall. And that ain't right either. It's threat. It's always come with this. It's never a promotion of the positive. It's like Solomon, only focusing on the ones that you shouldn't mess with, but never tell you what the one that you should. Never tell you the good stuff and the benefits of this. And that's a dangerous thing because, you know, when you're a certain age, you're trying to get, you know, you're trying to figure yourself out. You're trying to get attention. And then how do I get attention? Oh, I definitely get attention by being the eyeball out. How to be an eyeball out? I'll be the one that run down the hall. I'll be the one that keep talking. I'll be the one that say a joke when the teacher say that. You know, but how do you popularize good behavior? How do you popularize the good thing? And I think that's something that we have to do a better job of making sure that things like slow to anger is something that's popping.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
you always, I notice you always calm, you always cool. You know, I'm gonna buy you lunch today. Yeah. Just because of that. You know what I mean?
Oh, look at this guy, man. Look, instead of having the guy blasted all over the world that just shot the guy.
Right. It's somewhere there's a positive.
But the guy that was like he was slow to anger, it's always there.
Yes.
And they're out there too.
Yeah.
But these ain't the ones where people take their cameras out for.
Right.
We don't want to see that.
It's not sensational.
It's not sensational.
Yeah.
It's not gratifying.
Yeah.
Because the people that are doing the promoting of these type of things, that's not something that they do. They don't value it. Yeah. You know what I mean? To somebody who's spiritual, you see the benefit. Oh man, that was you could see it. Like, oh man, like you gotta see stuff. Is oh man, like you all. And one of the things I always look for, I used to have to look and do like if there's a fight in the building or something like that, I'd go back and look at the video. And what I'd be looking for is not even the two kids that's fighting. I'm looking at everybody else because I want to see who tried to stop it. And everybody know. If you broke up a fight and you got in there and you know, I'm not saying that you have to, you know, nobody have to do it, but if you did and you stopped it or stopped it from happening, I got a pizza for you. You see what I'm saying?
You created the atmosphere and positive reinforcement.
So people be looking for fights, not that. I'm getting a pizza if I break this up.
But it's there though. The concept is there.
It's there.
You know,
it's there. Because most of the crowd, you know what they do?
They looking.
They pull out their cameras. They say, ooh, they doing this. They egging it on. That negative energy is really what caused the fights.
Yep.
And so I always tell them, y'all the reason, it ain't really them. Because most people don't want to fight.
Because what if you got 2 people trying to fight and you got 20 people saying, no, I don't do that.
It ain't going to happen.
It's going to happen. They're going to kill all that. Come on, man.
Jumping
Exactly. But if everybody come and say, no, we don't do that here. Yeah.
But you know where that come from? They're like adults be going, look at the kids they doing. Listen, where they get it from?
Get it from us.
You see what I'm saying? And what if we, you know, and I say we, I'm talking about, what if we start having that mentality? Yeah. I saw a video a long time ago. I think it's really popular. I'm glad it was popularized. Because it was a guy, just a regular guy. It was a bunch of kids, and they were about to fight, and the crowd around him. And he stepped in and said, "Y'all better not say nothing to each other. Y'all love each other. Y'all here for." He just started, just speaking to him and uplifting. And somebody recorded the whole. And I was like, that's what we need. I saw that. We need to popularize that. We need to put that.
And he reprimanded the friends.
Then he like, man, see the guys they trying to get you hurt.
He said, "Them ain't your friends.
They ain't your friends, man. Look at them. They want you to get beat. They want you to get
exactly."
That's what we need.
That's what we need.
That's what we need.
We need boldness.
That type of.
We definitely need boldness. And I think the way the enemy stifles our boldness is how we see how what can potentially happen to you stepping into other people's issues. And I know even myself, I cringe. You see certain things, you be like, nah, I ain't getting involved in that because. What if that turns
bad for you?
So
you gotta use wisdom too.
Yeah.
You definitely gotta use wisdom, but then you gotta know your capacity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We gotta be able to look and say, you know what, that's not something that I'm gonna be able to.
Even if I don't get involved, man, I just need to call the police on this.
Absolutely.
I need to.
And I give my kids three things they can do in a situation. With a fight, you got 3 things you can do. Because you pull out that camera, you're gonna be reprimanded. Because you're egging it on. If I see you jumping up and down, you got 3 choices you can make. Number 1, you can just walk away. I ain't part of this. This ain't me. Let me get out of here. I'm all right with that. Number 2. You can go tell it on the adult. You can go say, hey, they about to fight over there, blah, 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 blah. Or number 3, if you have the capacity, you can jump, but you got to know your capacity.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can step in and, you got 3 choices. If you do any other thing, then it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Because that's not the culture that we need. We're not here to hurt one another.
Right.
We're here to build one another. And that got to be the mindset. But if the young people don't see that with the adults.
Yeah. If we not doing it, then they gonna follow suit.
Culture, man. Culture is one of the most powerful forces on the planet. And you go through different places, you see the manifestation of that culture, and it becomes generational.
Yeah.
You go to Dearborn, the culture is there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you go to certain place, and you see certain levels of culture there because generations have done things in front of them and shown the next generation this is how, whether or not it's right or wrong, but this is how we're doing it. You know what I mean? And we have to create that standard, because right now we like Proverbs 25 and 28.
Yeah, we ain't got no walls.
No walls, man. We're liable to any kind of attack, and so people come in and whatever they want to go on in the community is going on. I always tell young people, they be like, Mr. Williams, when the last dance you do, blah, 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 blah. I was like, I bet you I can tell you what dance you doing right now. They be like, what are we doing right now? I can do it still on the TV. I know whatever they doing.
That's what you doing.
That's what you doing. Because that's how wide open the field is for us, because we don't have the standard. And we just have to create it, man. It's so that our young people can grow up with better. The goal always is for a generation to be better.
Yes.
Than before. You know what I mean? It should be getting stronger. The culture should be getting deeper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The principles should be becoming more locked in.
They should be. You know what's? We got an uphill battle.
Yep.
And I say that because right now we are kid focused. We focus on the kids. But a lot of the parents need a lot of this information, and they harder to deal with because they already nestled into their ways and to their mindsets. I mean, I know you're dealing with parents and all that type of stuff. I ain't dealing with kids, but I'm dealing with adults who are settled into their culture, whatever culture that is. Yeah. And I may come and say, like, usually when I go to work, I say good morning to everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. Good morning. Like you said, after a while, I said, man, you always saying good morning. Good morning, man. How you know what I mean? What's
Absolutely.
Going on? And one person can change a whole...
Just one.
Just one. Yeah. You only need one, but most of us are overly consumed with our own stuff that we don't have capacity. I like that word now. We don't have capacity, or at least we perceive we don't have capacity to impart some of that on somebody else and say, you ain't got to be mad you come here. It could be worse. You could be flipping burgers.
Right.
And, you know, the person flipping burgers is praying for your position, your spot. You know what I mean? So we got to retrain the parents. Because a lot of the stuff we see on social media is grown people.
Yeah, it is.
That's
where the kids getting it from. They training them up, and whatever. Yeah, it's tough. You know what I mean? It's like you say, it's an uphill battle. You know, it needs some shaking. And particularly in the arena of having a productive culture and cohesion. But I think that even, you know, one, just like that statistic said with that one guy is on the block. You know what I mean? And everybody and all the kids they can see him. Then, you know, then that gives us that opportunity to be able to. But the parents,
we need the strongest voice in any particular arena. We need to flip them. I saw an interview with a guy who was a detective. He was like a cop. I don't know if he was a detective or a beat cop, but I think he was a detective, because he said he was sitting in the office and another guy from somewhere else came in the office and slammed his cases on his desk. And he asked him, he said, how are you doing this? Because whatever you doing, you couldn't have learned it in the academy. Because the kind of results that you getting, like he was changing the whole neighborhood, the whole drug infested neighborhoods, and then all the crime was stopped. And the guy came to him and said, how you doing this? Just tell me. I want to know. Maybe I can, you know. And the guy said, I definitely didn't learn in the academy. He said, I went to the neighborhood where all the drugs were, and I found a guy who was the head of the operation. And I invited him to my house for dinner.
That's what you do.
And he said, what? And he said, I told him who he really was.
Exactly what you do.
He said, you're not a drug dealer. You're a child of God. Look around at what's happening because of the occupation you decided to do. And he said that guy went back to the neighborhood and everything stopped.
Yeah.
Because he went to the right person.
The right person. So who is the right person? Who is the right people?
Yes.
Who's the right people type?
Who's the what do you call it? The thing you stick in the water, it reads the temperature. The thermostat.
The thermostat. Yeah.
Okay.
Who's the thermometer? The thermometer.
Who's the thermometer that's controlling the temperature in this? And we need to go to them.
Yeah.
And we can get them. We get everybody else.
Yeah.
So it's.
But that's tough, because what is that? Who is it? When we think about our community, is it like celebrities? You know, is it you know,
probably
people? They have influence. And influence is a powerful thing, but you got to have influence. And then you have to have, like the story you just told. When I was growing up, you know, and before my time, there were people in the neighborhoods that, like you say, ran the neighborhoods and all that kind of stuff. But they would be the ones who tell you not to do what they're doing.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying?
Especially
they be like, man, and if they really saw something, man, get out of here. You know what I mean? They really get hard because they don't want you a part of it.
Yeah,
it's like, no, for you.
You got something better.
Yeah, you got something. Man, go hoop, go. You know, you go to school.
Smart, you get straight.
What you doing out of school, man? Like he ain't go to school all his life.
They wouldn't even allow you to partake in what they do.
Because they like you say, they saw the potential, even though they probably is out doing, you know, they doing their thing, you know, but they had that part, and I'm pretty sure that guy, he had that part in him. He just needed somebody to give him some foundation.
Yeah.
And then that part was still in him, and so now he can just go act on it. Now he's been empowered.
Yeah.
But the people that's in the front now, I don't know if they got that.
Yeah.
It's all about self, because it's a difference between being a person that's seen as a person of influence and a person who organically arrive in that spot, but then it's another thing when people have been placed and intentionally placed. I don't even want to say names.
Right, I got you.
But it's just people that if you think
they've been ordained for a time as this, for a time such.
Be honest, don't even have talent.
Yeah.
Don't even have how did this person get in this spot?
Yeah.
Where all our young ladies are looking up to them.
Yeah.
And they just
for good or bad.
For good or for anything.
God can place you there, or the powers that be, the rulers of darkness of this world can. What they call them, plants.
Plants. That's
industry plants or whatever. Yeah. I believe that.
Somebody put you right there.
I believe it.
And that's intentional. A lot of this stuff, a lot of it is intentional. Like you say, it's a spiritual board. This is not just like, and so we're going to get a plant to turn. It ain't going I mean, you could get them to turn, but they don't have the capacity to be able to be able to make that determination, because because the world puts its own in the front.
That's true.
And that's kind of, so we just have to got a lot.
Gotta pray.
We gotta pray. So let's go to, because we went. We went way over time, but hey, that's what editing is for and all that kind of stuff. And
do you feel like we I don't know, we went.
We spent a lot of time on the proverb and the meaning.
Yeah.
That, and then we got to do the application. We talked a little bit about how to apply it, and and do that. We just kind of gotta close it out now.
I just want to say one thing about the anger, right? Mm-hmm. Anger is an emotion that everybody has.
We all have it.
But like you said earlier, what you decide to do with it is where the self-control comes in. I could be angry. I could go to the gym and get better, get some gains.
Yep.
I could be angry. I could go read my Bible. Benefit. You know what I mean? I could be angry. I could use that anger to motivate me to do something positive. Mm-hmm. As opposed to somebody mighty who their physical opposition is very minimal. So it's not difficult for them to.
That's a good point.
Flex their dominance amongst people who can't match them physically. But controlling your emotions and having self-control takes more strength than to just grab somebody or whatever, you know what I mean? Lash out physically. Like, it's easy. It's easy to do, and that's why I believe it's saying that the person is better. The person that's slow to anger is better than the mighty, because being slow to anger that's a different fight right there.
Absolutely.
He who rules his spirit. I don't know if we touched on that one.
No, we didn't really. We had started on that. We went all that. We went always all the place. And he said, "He who rules his spirit." He who rules his spirit, then he who takes a city. So another comparison,
right?
Ruling his spirit, and versus he who takes a city. Same type of connotation as the beginning, the first level, because to take a, like I'll always say it's easier to like cuss somebody out than to speak blessings on them. Like, this one of the things I love doing this, because I love when I two students, they be going, they have an argument, they didn't call each other names, they do all Oh yeah, you said, oh, you said this, you said that. All right, now how many names you called? 7. All right, you gotta say 7 good things about it. Yeah. And if you see how hard it is trying to get your pride down.
Let me ask, okay, I think you said it, because I was about to say
that takes a lot of strength.
So you know it's not a matter of information. Like, you got enough information to say 7 good things, but your pride won't let you
spirit.
do it. Yeah, the spirit of pride.
It takes a lot to rule that spirit.
Yes.
It's easier to just go out and be barbaric and just take the whole, everybody die. Cuss everybody out.
For sure.
You know, that's, but to just be like, you know what, man, you're a good person, man. You this, I shouldn't have said that to you, because that takes strength, like real inner strength.
Yes.
To do. It takes a lot of self-control, because you got to be so locked in, and this is where the really source comes from. It's not really about the other person. It's about how you view yourself. Because if you secure in you, you have no problem building up another person.
Right. It don't make you feel.
It don't make you feel
somebody
to make you. I don't. Well, she winning. Like, ain't no winning. Everybody losing. If we going
I'm
back and forth.
Apologizing, and they on top.
They ain't apologize to me.
Don't you know? In order to be forgiven, you got to forgive.
You got to forgive, and that usually unlocks that person. You have the key to that person because you're stronger,
and it'll soften them up too. And they go.
Now you put them in a situation where now they.
They're like, if I don't apologize,
I'm gonna look bad now. So now I gotta apologize, even if I don't mean it. I gotta say something, because they just, I don't want to be the bad person out of this thing, because they the bad person.
Yeah, that's hard to do. Yeah, to humble oneself is very difficult.
It's difficult, especially when we're literally trained not to be humble.
Yeah, that culture you were talking about.
We're trained not to be.
Yeah, grandma and them used to say, they come by the house, they out there trying to jump me. You gonna go out there and fight them.
Yeah.
I have never heard somebody say, let's go out there and try to reason. Let's try to get to the bottom of
let's try to figure this out.
It's always, no, you gonna fight them, or you gonna fight me? I'm turned up, but grandma and them say, you gonna fight them or you gonna fight me?
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, there's sometimes it says there's a season for everything.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah.
So we have
defend
to discern,
yourself. You got
to discern.
We're not saying.
Yeah.
We're not saying just that's not wisdom to me.
Yeah.
But we talking about things that are preventable from getting to that point.
Yes.
Because that be the issue. It ain't that what happens afterwards. It's what happened before.
Right.
And we don't deal with that properly, so we have the destruction at the end on the other side, because now somebody get hurt. Now the police involved, and now their cousins coming around. Now you gotta watch your back. Now it turns into something destructive.
Yeah,
and that's what Proverbs tried to get us to avoid. Those put us in situations where we have likely success.
Right.
In those areas, if we apply these principles, but. What happens is that's promoted.
Yeah.
That's buffoonery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, we